Hi, I'm your host, Lancelot Theobald Jr., and this is the Power of Reinvention. Anything is possible. An inspirational talk show on Roku's I Define TV, based off a number one best-selling book that I wrote called They Haven't Made an Axe That Could Chop Down a Dream, Five Keys to Reinvention. Each week, we interview interesting and unique guests, and we ask them questions about how they reinvented themselves. We go over some of the choices they've made, challenges they've been through, advice they may have, and things that they've done in order to get to where they are today. So sit back, relax, have that cup of coffee, that bottled water, and let's get this party started. Our guest today is a master instructor, entrepreneur, and the founder of Speaking Prowess, where he combines expertise in communications and leadership to help individuals unlock their full potential. As the creator of Sifu's Mind Body Method, a transformative 90-day journey grounded in mindset, movement, journaling, hydration, and fasting, he guides people to detox their bodies and minds, reclaim their health, and elevate their personal power. With over 50 years of experience, he has impacted thousands through his programs, coaching, and 7 global live shows, empowering individuals to rise stronger physically, mentally, and emotionally. His mission is simple but powerful: to help people master their voice, lead with clarity, and transform their lives from the inside out. Please help me welcome the intriguing Master Sifu Rafael. Sifu, it's a real honor to have you on, man. And we got a chance to meet each other at the A to B Con, and we took it upon ourselves to go out for lunch, and I appreciate that. But I got a chance to see your studio, which is magnificent, man. An incredible space in Farmingdale, which doesn't look as large as it is until you go inside, and then it just keeps going. So it's this magnificent place, and I encourage those that are in Farmingdale to go check you out, man. So we only have
Okay.
30 minutes. So my first question to you is, what inspired you to blend martial arts with public speaking?
Great question. Lancelot, I've taught thousands to strike with precision, and it's my pleasure to teach them how to speak the same way. Martial arts gave me my foundation, but communication gave me my future. I survived polio, and finding my strength through movement, I realized your voice is your weapon.
Hmm.
Master it like your life depends on it. Because sometimes it does. It really does. Speaking Prowess was born from that moment of truth. Communication saved my life. Now I teach others how to save theirs with their voice.
Mm. Now, when you say save your life, because that's interesting, and wow, when I hear polio, I think debilitating. That was such a word back in the day growing up, polio. You know what I mean? So to see you here now is quite fascinating. But when you say, what was the word you used? It slips my mind right now. But okay, so the power of communications. I
Yes.
didn't realize that as a communicator of martial arts, it's very similar. It's very
Mm,
similar. That is your weapon, so to speak. And
yes.
now I see how, because when you first said, I'm a martial artist and I'm also um, uh, uh, I run a public speaking company. I'm like, I couldn't understand how the two of those kind of mesh together. But I see now, because you sharpen both things, they're weapons, and you
That's right.
sharpen both things as weapons. So wow. So my next question is, can you share the story behind founding Speaking Prowess?
Speaking Prowess really began as a response to a gap I kept seeing over and over and over again. People had the skill, but they didn't know how to communicate with it. So I created Speaking Prowess to merge martial arts discipline with verbal precision. I don't train speakers. I forge warriors of expression. Think about that.
Oh shoot.
Our goal is to
Okay.
help people move with power and speak with purpose. Because the most dangerous person in the room is the one who moves and speaks with intention.
Mm, wow. Wow. Okay.
So when you asked me about polio, you saw me walk, you saw me move.
Hmm.
I lost the ability to do that at 3 years old. My legs
Right.
turned backwards. I wore braces like Forrest Gump for a couple
Mhm.
of years,
Yeah.
and I had to communicate with God because God gave me the power, the willpower to move forward and to learn how to walk again and to use that energy to help others.
Hmm. Wow. So that brings me to my next question. How did your martial arts training influence your reinvention into the public speaking communications industry?
Another great question. Lancelot, when you consider martial arts, it is the art of awareness,
Hmm.
reading your opponent, owning your own breath, commanding the room without saying a word. That transferred directly into how I speak and teach others to speak. If you want power on stage, you need power in your posture.
Hmm.
Martial arts gave me the ability to stay centered under pressure. And I teach that to every one of my members, my students.
Hmm.
And communication gave me the ability to channel that energy into influence.
Wow.
Every day, we need to practice.
Wow. Centering yourself,
Mm.
posture, because
Yeah,
yes, because it's, commanding the room is about posture first, about
that's
how you
right.
stand. Yes, yes. All right. So in martial arts, discipline is paramount. What's some of the challenges you face instilling discipline into older students and clients who don't have it? And this was a question that was asked to me, so I'm interested to know your answer to this.
Right. Because most martial arts instructors usually teach children, but I love teaching adults as well.
Mm,
And the oldest person I've ever taught martial arts, there was a bunch of them, 102 years old. So
wow.
think about that, right?
Oh,
So
wow.
older students don't lack the ability. They're just trained the wrong way with the habits that they've formed along their process. So the challenge is helping them unleash what's holding them back. Discipline isn't about punishment. A lot of people think it is. It's a promise to your future self. Once they understand that,
Mm,
everything, I mean, everything changes. Consistency is the quiet killer of excuses. And when they start stacking wins, even small ones,
mm,
their identity begins to shift. When I taught these 102-year-olds, they were the ones, some of them were 98, 95. They were the ones that would stay after class and ask questions because curiosity is what kept them going.
mm. Wow. We're basically saying the same thing in that I'm a firm believer that you start with the mindset,
Mm.
and there's similar in wins, day-to-day wins. But in order to be consistent is you really have to change the mindset because a lot of times we have created this mindset of inconsistency. And the first thing we must do is deal with changing the subconscious and how we think subconsciously. So very similar, very similar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you discuss a time when discipline of martial arts translated directly to success in your entrepreneurial endeavors? Every day, probably.
I think that when you consider our daily practice, whether you're doing public speaking or even martial arts, you sometimes need to see what you look like, what you sound like, what moves make a difference. So I always recommend to everyone, every student, whether they're doing martial arts or they're doing public speaking or communicating with a team, start by recording yourself daily. Watch it back, not to critique, but to gain awareness of review. Second, we need to read out loud with purpose to train vocal variety. I read the Bible this morning and I read it out loud.
Mm,
And third, you need to move, breathe. Breath work is so critical for all of the things that I'm talking about.
hmm
And the presence, physicality of speaking, of martial arts, of movement is so critical to everything. So when you control your breath, when you control your presence, your voice is more than the sound,
hmm
it's energy.
hmm
And energy needs movement to come alive. Every day, we need to be aware of who we are and how we present ourselves to those around us.
Wow. Wow. Communication is energy. That's right. Yeah. When you speak, it's like speaking from the diaphragm. It's breathing. These things are very important. And I'm learning that from doing this show that you start to get variety in your tones,
That's
how you
right.
breathe, and these are things that I'm learning as I do my intro each week. The control and the mastery of it gets better and better. And it's about breathing. It's
Mhm.
definitely about breathing. Well, all right.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have you seen a difference from your first show to your current show?
Oh,
You've
absolutely.
improved because guess what? You've been practicing it,
Absolutely.
been
Yes.
moving.
Yes. Yes. You know, just the fluidity and the various tones that I start to hear now, and how I say different words. And I'm an actor also, but acting and in public speaking are still two different things. And I'm finding that through repetition and practice, I'm learning through breath, which is what you said, how to have different intonations with different words, which is very interesting. And I'm not setting out to do that. It's just happening because of the repetition, you know?
Absolutely.
Yes. So, what's a daily practice that you recommend for individuals aiming to enhance their speaking skills?
Daily practice. I believe that first we sometimes you have to like dancers, and I know you're one.
Mm,
Um, Singers, they have to
warm up.
practice that vocal, right? So sometimes we need to learn our own voice.
Mm,
Uh, we may have to practice high pitches, low pitches. So like high and low. And we need to work on the variety of our voice
hmm
every day because sometimes if you're going to be a speaker, don't be a speaker. Be a great speaker.
Oh God, yeah,
Come
yeah,
on out. And your voice is an instrument. It's like
yeah,
a guitar, it's a piano, it's a trumpet. You need to understand the different variety that our voices have. The
yes.
arch, the think of architecture, right? It's built on foundation. We need to know what our foundation is. So every day we need to practice the variety of our own voice because to be a great speaker, you have to take somebody in.
You have to say that one more time. You have to do what?
You have to take somebody
What?
in, and
Okay.
you do that with storytelling.
Mm.
But if you're
You talking about the
storytelling,
audience? Yes, you have to take the. Yes, 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 yes,
so you have to practice that. When we tell a story,
yes.
we have to give it different tonality as well as
Mm,
maybe if you're speaking when you were a child, maybe you have to lower your voice, maybe a little bit more timid, and then when you come out and then all of a sudden you're higher and louder
mm,
and
mm,
you're inspiring.
mm,
But a story has to have the ups and downs, it
mm.
has to have the low,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
then you have to bring it up high
All
again.
right.
So I think every day we need to practice in order to help our members understand that their voice can impact. not just one person,
Mhm.
but it can impact the world.
Well, that is a great bit of information to those that may be looking to try speaking. I mean, work on it on a daily basis, and telling a story you think is easy, but it's not as easy as you think when you're trying to engage the audience because like you said, it has its highs and lows. You got to grip, you got to pull them in. The transformation story, what I mean? It's very, which is what I've found. And as I continue to work on being a better storyteller, so I would say that comes with practice. That comes with practice. Yes.
Absolutely.
Can you discuss a time when discipline in martial arts translated directly to the success in your entrepreneurial endeavors? And I'm sure many times over.
Oh yeah. I've been running as an entrepreneur over 30 years, right?
Mhm.
Uh, but even that's just martial arts. But even prior to that, personal fitness and all this kind of stuff. But when I launched my first studio, some days in the beginning, no one showed up. But I did what I needed to do every single day. And
Mhm.
that's the discipline that martial arts gave me. Show up whether you're seen or not.
Mhm.
Every setback is a setback for more discipline. Think about that. Every setback. When we can consider every day, we need to show up no matter what happens in
Mhm.
our lives.
Mhm.
When we think about, when we go back into when we first started, I built my business the same way I trained my forms and my sparring and my weaponry because I teach tons of different Chinese martial arts
Mhm.
weapons. But repetition, correction, and consistency, I didn't need motivation. I needed movement. And that's how you win every day by showing up. I believe that when we show up every day, there's this muscle that we keep working on, right? It's the consistency
Consistency
muscle, I
muscle.
call it,
There you go.
right?
That's
We
key.
need that muscle. We need that
Yes.
habit because without, listen, habits can either make us or break us.
Yes. That's
Some
right.
people have habits that, like you wake up very early in the morning with intention,
Yes.
and that's an amazing habit. You texted me at 4:45 this morning. I
Yeah.
responded back,
Yeah,
didn't
right
I?
away. Yes, right
Why?
away.
Because I was already up. I was actually heading to the gym at that point. But
Uh-huh.
here's the thing. I understand that habits are everything because some people have the habit that hurts them.
Mhm.
They drink, they smoke, they
Yeah,
do all of these different negative things. So habits can be good, but they can be bad.
right.
It's how we use our energy every single day.
Mhm. Absolutely. And I think habits boils down to mindset again.
Absolutely.
Everything to me, I feel a lot of things boil down to creating a better mindset. And I utilize things like affirmations, and I coach people on affirmations and the positiveness of affirmations and what they can do because words can control your actions and actions can control your life. You know what I mean? So words are more than just communicated. They're like reality shapers, and
Mhm.
we have to see them as that. And you can talk yourself into doing things. It's just like for myself, getting up in the morning was something I didn't do all my life, but I decided that I was going to get up every morning, anywhere from 3:30 to 4 o'clock, because that was uncomfortable. And in order to be successful, I wanted to be doing something that everybody else wasn't doing. And then when I get up with intention. I get up to listen to motivational videos. Then I do my affirmations in the morning. Then I do my work in the morning because the in the morning they say that's your alpha stage. Alpha stage meaning that's when you're most alert and you're most ready to absorb. So this is one of the other reasons why I get up so early in the morning.
Right.
Um, where do you see speaking prowess in the next 5 years?
My vision for speaking prowess is bigger than me. So in 5 years, speaking prowess will be the go-to platform for communication mastery.
Mm,
I love teaching communication to the youth, to children. The youngest I've done workshops. The youngest person we had was 7 years old.
mhm,
But when I teach it to youngsters, here's the key that I do: their parents must attend.
mhm,
And the caveat is that the parents pay for the children, but the parents get it for free
mhm.
because it makes the parents be there so they can see what their children are going through. And all
Right.
of a sudden, they're learning as well. And there's this bond. So, from youth programs to global speaker training and certifications, we're building a movement. Our speakers won't just speak well, they'll live with the power. Because when you master your communication, you don't just make noise, you make impact. And in 5 years, I want to have workshops throughout the US. I'm
Mhm,
already in communications with people in other countries. I have somebody, I was just in Canada,
mhm. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm in communications with somebody who is going to be bringing speaking prowess to Canada. I
Mhm,
have somebody in Mexico. I have somebody in France and Germany who want to bring that there.
mhm.
And when we talked earlier about getting up at early at 3:30, 4 o'clock, I was in Canada and I was up at 3:30 in the morning and I'm walking the streets and nobody's out. And I'm
Wow.
like, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm up before anyone else,
Anybody. Yes.
but
Yes.
the energy that we can use, and it's that waking up that early that we
Yeah.
can process our future. So
Yes.
when you ask me about the future of speaking prowess, it's
Alpha.
because I'm doing all the work when the think about the alpha, the
Alpha
most
state.
powerful time
That's right.
that we can plan is when no one else.
Else is up. The alpha state, baby. That's right. That's right. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Wow. Nice. Nice. What's your advice to our viewers? All right, here's something. What's your advice to our viewers who may be going through setbacks or failures? And what lessons have they taught you? What's the advice? And what's some of the lessons they taught you? So help out whoever's possibly needing that kind of advice right now.
Well, you know, one of the things that I fail every day,
Mhm.
but that doesn't make me a failure.
Right.
Write that one down, everybody. You fail every day, it does not make you a failure
Failure.
because setbacks don't define you, they
Yes.
refine you.
Yeah.
I learned how to walk twice as a toddler and again with full leg braces after polio. Reinvention does not mean starting over. It means rising smarter every morning.
Wow.
We have that opportunity.
Hmm.
Your habits either build your confidence or they bury it.
Hmm.
The choice is always yours. And the strongest stance you can take is standing up for your voice, for your purpose, for your why, for your family, for your community
Hmm.
every day.
Yeah.
Why are you doing what you're doing? Who are you doing it for? And then don't let anyone stand in your way.
Find your purpose and then go after it. That's right. Simple. You know what I mean? Yes. All right. Here's one for you. What legacy do you hope to leave in the realm of martial arts? You know, A little different than speaking prowess. You're still a martial artist. What legacy have you left, or what legacy would you like to leave with martial arts?
I think that martial arts for me is a vehicle, to be honest with you. Yes, I want to empower people to be able to defend themselves.
Mm,
But martial arts for me is more than punching and kicking. I want people to say, Sifu Rafael helped me fight for my voice the same way he taught people how to fight for their life. To me, that's legacy.
mm,
Empowerment through expression. The strongest punch and the most powerful word both come from the same place,
mm.
intention. I hope to
Intention?
leave behind generations who speak with courage and move with clarity. This is why I write every day. Every day, I journal because it allows me to see what I'm doing, what I've done. And earlier, I talked about my mistakes don't define me, they refine me. So I want to teach that and leave that legacy to everyone else and know that they are worth more.
Mm,
Don't ever cut yourself short.
mm.
You're worth more.
Wow. All right. You laid out some incredible answers, man. All right. Give me one key lesson you've learned that you can share with our viewers about reinventing oneself at a later stage in life. Because I'm a firm believer that at 90, you can reinvent yourself. At 50, you can reinvent yourself. Give me a key lesson you've learned about reinventing yourself at a later stage in life.
Well, Lancelot, I definitely want to invite you to my 100th birthday party
Ah,
because we're going to have a blast, my friend.
yes, yes.
But I always say this: it's never too late to become dangerous in a new way.
Mm,
Dangerous, but you have to start here. Reinvention is about taking your scars, your story, your setbacks, and turning them into strategy. Every day you have to do that. I
mm,
didn't start over. I leveled up,
right.
and you can too. Everybody listening to us can level up. They can start. Listen, it's so what if you're down? Get up.
Mm, mm,
And here's the cool thing, because the moment you give yourself permission, and you have to give yourself permission to turn that page to a new chapter, write it with purpose. That's why I said every day I write,
right.
because I'm writing my future. I'm writing and rewriting it day in and day out without failure. Because once I said to you earlier, I am not my failure. I am not. I need to move forward to begin to write my new chapter. When you can consider the life we've had, if we look back all the way, all the mistakes we've made along the way, they've gotten you here. They've gotten you here.
Mm,
Whether you were screaming, crying, laughing, whatever it was, they got you here. Keep going.
mm,
Write your new chapter. Start it today. Don't wait for tomorrow.
right.
Tomorrow may not come.
You're the author of your own story. Don't
That's
allow
it.
anybody else to write your story. You are the author of your own story.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Food, we are out of time. And it's been an honor and a pleasure. And I hope that those that are listening got as much out of this as I did. So I have to do my summation. Folks, you are all you need. to get everything that you want in your life. Sometimes you have to take the things that hurt you the most and use it as fuel to ignite the full potential that is locked inside of each and every one of us. Until next time, I thank you for watching. Peace. We're out.